Hello, fellow hammer-tards!
No. What? Why can't I use that? You know why. Look, I'm autistic. I can use the word if I want to. I'm taking the word back. You don't want to open that can of worms, man. Just think of something else. Okay.
Hello, fellow wargaming enthusiasts. My name is DJ, and this is my world in miniature. Alright, so in this video, we're going to be painting the other terrain pieces. Yay! Okay, so these are going to be the Skaven terrain pieces. As you can see, because these are beautifully primed, I have got myself some spray primer. It's going to be gold gilded like the other side, that way it ties in as being part of the same, place. But I'm going to change the marble to black just because I want it to differentiate itself between the Stormcast side. The only thing that's going to really change is the marble. It's going to be black instead of white. This is going to be green or purple, but I'm not 100% sure. So this shouldn't be too bad. We're going to do some OSL from this, kind of glowing out from here. These are going to be the same color because they're both stones. And it's going to be the same kind of stone. Now that we've kind of gone through that, we're going to base coat. So I didn't realize that I was rendering out in 24 frames per second for the last couple of episodes. So I was hoping I could show you that the toothbrush actually works, because now that I can fix it, it actually looks like it's vibrating. But anyways, this is the model after I got done base coating everything with gold, silver, and a gunmetal color there. I'm doing live narration, so I'm watching this video the way you're seeing it, and I'm just going to narrate it. So here I am, I'm grabbing some low mineral spirits, and I am making a wash for the metallics. I'm going to be using an acrylic based wash because for some reason my oils are not mixing with the spirits. I don't know what's wrong with them, so I had to punt and improvise. Don't worry about how thick it looks. I'm going to be wiping it off here in a second so that I can get the gold to come back a little bit. But this is a really quick way to shade and a really quick way to kind of grime up your metal so it looks a little bit more worn in. Okay, so here I am taking a Q-tip or a cotton swab and getting some mineral spirits on it to wipe off the excess wash on the model. So you want to do this within 2 hours of putting the wash on. If you leave it too long, it will be somewhat permanent, so you won't be able to get it off. So make sure you work a little bit fast. This is the time where I'll go through and dry brush over a brighter version of the base coat. That way it kind of looks like a sheen or a shine. It also takes down some of that wash so that I can bring the original color back a little bit. I'm emphasizing the top there so you can see, if you can see on the left it's been dry brushed, on the right it wasn't. And there we go. I went through ahead and just finished each piece individually. So if I was working on metallics, I finished them up. So this is what the end metallics. I'll touch it up as I go on if I accidentally mess up on it or paint it on accident. I'll do that with all the pieces, the wood pieces, the metal pieces, and the marble for the wall itself. I fully complete each piece instead because the metallics, with the dry brushing on metallics, it gets everywhere. So this way I can go through and cover up the over dry brushing with the actual paint color. Here I'm painting the door. The door was a lot of fun to paint, actually, as boring as it looks, but I really had fun painting it. And I do some really cool special effects on the other side of the door, but you won't see that till the end. here we go. It's the finished door on one side. I did wash it with that acrylic wash again, just to get on the inside. The bits in between the dragon were a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I figured it out. I got it done. So here I am doing the wash on the planks. It's the same acrylic wash that you saw me make earlier. I did it with a different color. Instead of black, I used a deep brown so that it doesn't look too bad. But see, if you can see there, you can kind of see the actual green of the wood a little better. And it also helps me cover up some of the paint problems. If you were worried about the mineral spirits being fumed, and the fumes and stuff, I have a fan blowing on me at all times when I'm making the washes and using the washes. I also have a window open in the quite large living room that I'm sitting in doing it, and I have the overhead fan on as well, so I'm well ventilated. And then this is just the finishing dry brushing on top of the wood. Now, these are all terrain pieces, so I'm not worried about layering or anything like that, because I just want these to be done, look good, but be done in a fast way. So this is like a 3-step process.
I'm so happy.
We all enjoy Mark Hamill as the Joker, and Kevin Conroy as Batman. Brand new day. And by the way, can we look at the character in the background right here? You see this lady right here? This is a kid show, okay? This is a kid show, and she's wearing nothing but like some weird metal bikini thingy. I've been watching the whole animated Justice League, like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and there's no way they'd get away with this as a kid show nowadays. Just say it. Anyway, I went to Reaper. They do a paint club every Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was Wednesday yesterday, so I went to the paint club. And I was talking to some of the staff painters about how I wanted to do the marbling, but I couldn't figure out how to do it the way I wanted, and I only got this like muddied texture here. And they gave me an idea. To use glazes and super small tipped brush, and I tried it right here on this piece, and I really like this idea. So I'll show you how to do this in a second. And actually, there's a really cool guy there named Sam who does some painting classes and goes to conventions and stuff. And he was telling me that I can even take it we can take it further than this, and we can do more wisps, like do a little bit deeper of a wash, like a little darker wash on here, and then do more wisps, and then glaze over it, and then do it over and over again until I build up the amount of striations I want in the thing. These are tabletop terrain pieces, so I'm only really going to do maybe this one layer. If I'm feeling extra spicy, I might take the bright gold and do one more small layer with gold and then glaze over that. But I don't think I'm going to do that, at least not right now. But the beauty of painting this way in layers and thinly is I can come back and add more paint to it, and it's not going to really change anything. Reaper paints are actually pretty good. They have a little bit more thinner in it than most, a little more transparent than most paints. So you can get these really thin layers. It's a much more finicky paint. You got to get used to it, but it's really, really good, and I really like it. And it's close, so it's easy to source. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna do this. This is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna finish this one. We're gonna finish this one. Anyways, that's what we're gonna do while I continue watching this non-kids kid show. It's the intermission. Can you name this movie in the comments from just this sound alone?
No. She gets a special clone. It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries. Yep. It's made with bits of real panther, so you know it's good.
Excelente suposición. Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out if you're right. Alright, so here I am starting the marble. The first thing you're going to want to do is do a base coat of the marble color. White if you want white marble, blue, or whatever. You can make marble whatever color you want. This is the smallest brush I got. and it's going to be the brush that I use to make the lines, the white lines inside the marble. As you can see, it's a 3-0 brush. Alright, here I am with the white paint, just making the little lines in it. Remember that lines come from every direction, but you're going to be doing this over again. So don't worry if you got them all going one way or whatever on accident. You can just make them go the other way on the next pass through. But yeah, just remember that randomness is key, and that's hard for us humans to do. You'll see me down there in the corner. I'm actually mixing the glaze that's going to be going over this stuff. I don't want it to be a straight up black glaze, even though I do switch to doing a black glaze only for the rest of it because it didn't really matter much, but I wanted to make sure that it didn't over cover the white marks, so I made it just a little bit gray, like put a little bit of white and black. You'll see in a second though it'll disappear from my palette, and that's because I moved it to a shallow pot so that I can mix a bunch of water into it to get the right consistency. You're going to do 2 coats of this glaze. And that's what it looks like when it's done. As you can see, you can barely see any of the white marks that we made. And then we're going to do this all one more time. And do it all over again. These striations are going to be a little bit more chaotic. Just because I felt like the other ones were going a little too one direction. Now you can see that I'm washing it again, doing 2 washes of that deep gray wash. We're doing a top coat of this gloss. I want it to look like it was maintained and polished, and then somebody broke through it, and so all the little cuts and scrapes, you'll see me carefully going around any of the gouges or blown out parts or edges of bricks that shouldn't be exposed but are now. I don't gloss those because those weren't polished to begin with, and that's what it looks like when it's done. You can see the shine. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, it is so horrible. Yeah, that's right. Wag your finger. That is so bright. Like, I fixed it off camera, but that is so bright. Okay, so, we are at the end of the day today. I have no idea what I've filmed and what I haven't. I've been filming all day and I haven't been looking at the footage, so I have no idea. But this is where we are at the end of the day. This is an almost done terrain piece, not 100% yet, but it is really, really close. I changed the door off camera because it was a pain in the butt and I couldn't get the right color blues, but I finally got a good mixture of a metallic and a sapphire blue, this one right here, and I mixed it with the tarnished steel, which is this one right here. I got this really nice blue color right here. I really like that color, and the reason why I'm doing that one on this is it's going to be coming back in on the Liberators. Their shields are going to have this blue on it, so I want it to look like Stormcast terrain. What I need to do on this one still, there's a couple, let me see if I can get a little pointer here. There's a couple rats on this skeleton right here. There's one inside the pelvis. I need to get those guys real quick. A couple things inside the cubbies. There's a pot. There's like 3 skulls, because there's one down here. 1, 2, 3. A book and some keys that I gotta hit real quick. Then after that, what I gotta do on here is I'm going to do some object source lighting again on here, but while talking to the Reaper guys, they gave me a better idea of how to do it, and that's to value shade it and then glaze over with the color, especially with purple, because they were telling me that purple is one of the hardest colors to do it with. So for those who don't know, value shading is when you just shade over everything with white, and then you'll take a very thin glaze. It's called a glaze. It's a very thin paint. It looks like these ones right here that you can see my skin through pretty much. Those are all glazes. This one here is a little thicker of a glaze, but these ones are like, this is the consistency of a glaze. Like before I varnish the rest of the marble, I'm going to take a white and I'm going to just paint white and kind of shade out white everywhere I want white, and then I'm just going to take a really thin purple and just keep going over it over and over and over it until it reads the right amount of purple that I want for it to look. They told me that it wasn't a bad idea, because I asked them if I should do it, is to overdo it. So don't be so realistic with it, because it's kind of like when you watch a play. You always overdo it on stage because it reads better to the audience than if you did it realistically. We need to shade this a little more over the top for the object source lighting than we would in real life, than it would look like in real life. That way it'll read better on the table that it's an object source lighting. I really like the marble and the way that the marble looks. I really like it. Really like it. This is me doing all the tiny little details. Look at those tiny little rats. I use the same tiny brush that I used for the marble, and I'm going in and painting the feetsies and the furs, and I'm going to do just some really small white highlights to give it the effect of really glowing, because I'm about to do the glow effects. So here you go. You can see me testing the dry brush on my hand. And this is where I'll tell you that I may have accidentally overdone it a little bit and made it a little too bright and a little too purple there. But I think I made it too bright in the end. But I'm not 100% sure. You let me know in the comments what you think. But I think it's a little too bright at the end of it. But yeah. And after that, I called it a wrap. Alright, so there it is, the Spearhead terrain, all 4 pieces. Thank y'all so much for the bottom of my heart for watching to the end of the video. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the terrain pieces, and hit the subscribe button if you want to stay tuned when we paint the first unit, our Liberators for Stormcast Eternals. We'll see you next video. Peace!